Here we go.
Hello.
Good Flintstones references.
Bam, bam.
Bam, bam.
Only 2 more episodes left.
Yeah, this one and one more.
Yes. So this is
episode 9.
Was it the penultimate?
This
is
is the penultimate. Yeah.
I only know that from racing when they're always like, it's the penultimate lap. That's the only reason I know that.
Getting smart.
Yeah.
You learn things from different
sources.
Like I've learned a lot about like older music and some classical music by listening to some types of electronic music because they tend to remix them. So like, what is the original? And then I go listen to some. Like, yeah, you can learn things from odd places.
My favorite, I don't even know if is it a classical song, is the 1812 Overture with cannons. Where they're actually shooting cannons off for the song.
As a part of the...
Yeah, okay. So everything just goes... At some point you're like, what the... Alright, anyways.
Quite the bass line.
Yeah, a little bit of a tangent. What are we doing today?
So, the idea is to kind of basically meld things together. We've learned a bunch of the fundamentals. We learned about some of the heap and the stack memory. We've learned about the standard library. And a lot of the code that we've been doing is kind of hey, here's some code, and then we throw it away. Oh, here's some code, here we throw it away. So let's make something. And I've kind of intentionally not prepared that much today. We're going to do the homework review. And then we're going to open up the browser. We have a way to share code between us. I'm going to program something. You can provide feedback and input. You're going to program something. I'm going to provide feedback and input.
I feel like this is going to be very one-sided feedback.
Hey, I mean, that's fine. That's fine. We all learn at different rates. So
I'm slow.
It's fine. So I think the general idea is we'll make players. We'll make some sort of combat. We'll make them fight. I brought a very simplistic way to do random numbers. And we'll go from there. Try to make something that does something, at least. And then we'll share what we have now. And then in the next episode, the idea is to take what we have and then kind of transform it a little bit.
Sick.
Sounds good?
Yeah.
Let's go over to me.
Okay.
There we go. So string greeting, hi Gabe. And then I make a greeting pointer, which is a make shared of a string of the greeting. So I have a pointer to the greeting. Then I have a vector of shared pointers to a string of greetings. And then I push back the greeting pointer onto the greeting.
Hi.
A little bit more elaborate.
Yeah.
I noticed when I make this slide, like this text setup is not the greatest for code. It's like, it's fine for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
when,
like,
when it gets a little bit hard to read when it gets smaller.
I was done with this like, okay, it's whatever. So last week they looked at the standard library. And this week we're gonna make something. At least have something tangible, not throw code away, and kind of see, because there's a problem that happens sometimes where you keep climbing the mountain. And I think I've said this to you many times. You keep climbing the mountain, and you look up, and it's like, there's still more mountain. There's always more mountain, right? But you kind of don't look down and see, like, we're pretty high right now. We're pretty high up. Because you always want to be, because you see all the cool people up there high in the mountain. You want to be like them, right? And you're climbing and climbing.
I don't want to be uncool. Take me up the mountain.
Something like that. Yeah, because being practical is very important. Yeah. So ready?
Sure.
So, homework review.
Yes.
You were practicing using standard string. How did that go?
Pretty good. I tried some... Yeah, I mean, I just tried some of the basic stuff that we had done. Mm-hmm. So just changing names and then doing the combining.
Yeah.
I noticed that if you just put Olafur and Gabe into the same string, it just puts them together. So I was like, aha, I figured it out. But no, I mean, I knew I didn't, actually. But yeah, then I think we had talked a little bit and then figured out that if you just basically add one name to the other one,
plus,
it turns into the combination of those two names.
Isn't that weird that plus is what's combining strings when for integers it's like it's addition?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. But yeah, they pick that. And that happens a lot where people confuse those two. They think the plus is to add things together. And there's a problem in JavaScript that happens sometimes. If you have 2 strings and you plus them together, you get string 1 and string 2. If you have 2 numbers and you add them together, that works. If you have a string and a number, it will add the number, it will turn it into a string, and then add the. So if you have 1 and 1 as string, you don't get 2, you get 11.
Perfect. That's what 1 and 1 is.
Exactly. Using empty, size, and clear. How did that go?
Yeah, I mean, we used clear in the episode just to remove things. Empty was like the same thing we went through the episodes. Is if it's empty. Yeah. Size told us how many characters are in it.
Yep.
And then replace was the weird one that I didn't know how to use, and then went through that with you a bit, but then ended up turning, I think, Olafur into like, I don't remember, it was like Tolloffer because we put towel in front of your name.
Towel for or something like that, yeah. The interface there was kind of weird because so what they have is they have basically 2 ways of calling replace. One with the numbers, which was a simpler one where you just take the string and then just say from this place until this place, replace. They also have an iterator version, which an iterator is kind of a pointer. So you can point into the string of where you want it to happen. And the reason why they have an iterator version is there are other functions, because for example, you might not know where in the string you want to replace it. Because maybe you want to find some sort of special string you want to replace. You want to replace Gabe with Olafur or Olafur with Gabe. And you don't know where Gabe is in the string. In the example you had, you know where it was.
Yeah.
You kind of like could shift it around. You could fiddle with the numbers. But what if you don't know? And there are functions called find.
Find.
Yeah. And find will not return you where in the string it is. It will give you an iterator into, think of it as like an index or like a bookmark, like it's here, and it will give you that, so you can then use the iterator instead of the numbers. So you can just say find, you get the iterator, use the iterator, it's happy. And if find doesn't find it, it will give you the end iterator. So instead of checking if it's there, you could check did I find the end iterator, which basically did I go to the end of the book, if you think of it that way. Okay. And yeah, combining 2 strings into one, we had to talk about that. So Olafur Gabe into Olafur Gabe. Cool. So that went well. String, pretty good. Pretty straightforward.
Seems to be.
Seems to be. Shared pointer.
That was a bit more complicated.
Yeah.
So yeah, fundamental types. I mean, I did int and char and bool.
Yep.
Those were fairly straightforward. It was just replacing the.
Worked the same way.
Yeah, replacing the type and then the names and such.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of straightforward.
Yeah. Making one using a string.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, where is that one? Yeah. This I got confused like usual. It's my permanent state of mind. But it created a stood shared pointer that contained a string because the string was a type that then was health, and then also contained the new type of, or not the pointer to the stood string, the new one.
No, you could have a pointer to a string.
Then I'm reading this wrong.
If you share your screen.
Yes, it's probably easier.
Yeah.
Because this one.
So it's a shared pointer of the string, and then you knew a string into it. Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah, because a shared pointer it is a pointer. It wants to point to something.
Yeah.
And to get a memory address, you knew something.
Yeah. So I'm just creating a new version of this.
Yeah, you're creating.
But it's in the heap.
Yeah, you're creating a string on the heap, and you get the memory address of the string on the heap. And that is being put into shared pointer. Yeah,
and then it's just being put into, just being called dry towel.
Yeah, you had a very towel-y...
Yeah, for some... It's been a towel adventure for the past few weeks.
Adventure. Sometimes you have words stuck in your head, so that's kind of the thing. Yep. And then send a shared pointer into a function.
Yeah,
and you have that there below. Yeah. Yep. You get a banana coming in, and you get the size of the banana. Sure. And then a function that returns a shared pointer.
That was...
You hadn't... Yeah, no, you didn't do that one.
Oh, no. Didn't get that far, apparently.
Okay.
I missed that one.
It's okay. Okay, if we swap that to me. There we go. And then the vector. So create a vector of the fundamental types.
Yeah, so I did that with just char and bool and int.
Yeah.
I mean, that was easy. You just change the pushback to be the accurate. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4 for int, and then for char it was letters and the single quotes,
The little
and
quotes.
then bool it was just false, true, false, true, false, true.
Cool. Use the empty and the size and the clear.
Yes, that was basically just putting that at the bottom, at least for clear.
Yeah.
I found because I tried to put everything into one thing when we were talking, and that ran into the problem where clear was before some of the stuff below.
Yeah.
So I ended up just clearing it, and they got confused. I was like, oh, where'd it go? It disappeared. I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah, you push some stuff into it, you hit clear, and then you try to use the bracket operator, and stuff crashed.
Yeah. So I didn't really know what the operator and front was, so we went through that. But yeah.
Cool. Sounds good. And then the big one, creating a shared vector of a shared pointer. We kind of had that in the high Gabe.
Yeah, this was a long one.
Yeah, it's a very long line of things.
So created a vector that had the type, I guess, was the shared pointer. that had a type which was a string. Yeah. Towels.
Again, the towel theme, but that's fine.
Yeah. And then we did towels pushback. That.
If you swap over to yours so people can see maybe.
Yes, probably easier. That's this one.
Yeah.
Just gonna zoom in a little bit more.
That's good. So you had a vector of a shared pointer of a string, and then you push back, but then you need to make a shared pointer. So you make shared of a string, and then you put the string Steve into that one. But then you can also you can create a shared pointer by itself, and then just use it like a shared pointer, and then later on put it into the vector. And
so that was really confusing, and I clearly didn't do this myself. I had assistance. But I think when we had gone through it, I understood the basics of how it kind of came together.
And it functions the same way where you can, when you're doing pushback in a vector, you probably have it if you scroll up a little bit in the regular cases. Yeah, here, like you're pushing back A and B because you're just creating a character straight up. But you can also say char towel is equal to Z. And then you can say pushback towel, right? That works. In the same way, if you scroll down again, that's the same thing happening here. Hey. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we're live.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Hamish is being sneaky. He's going to visit for a few seconds, apparently. In the same way where you do... you push back.
It's going to be weird if I don't say hi now.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Bye.
Bye.
Go learning.
I am learning. You interrupted it.
Hamish saying hi.
Bye.
Anyway.
Yes.
Visitors.
Yes.
In the same way, if you look at the second line, towels pushback make shared string Steve, that is creating, it's the same thing as creating like a character C. You're making it there. You're not making a variable. You're not giving it a name. Like it's not a variable on the stack. You're just straight up being added to the vector. And then the second line, the variable health is being created on the stack. It's being put on the stack. It's given a value, and then you push it onto the vector. So you're saying you can do both. Cool. So homework.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Yep.
So let's look at.
Should go back to you.
Yep. Because what we're going to do is, let's program.
Oh, wait.
No, yeah, it's fine.
I went to a double coding.
It's fine. The text wasn't cut off.
Yeah. It just looked really weird. Just like, why is half the screen
It's
white?
good.
Yes.
Okay, so if we, I'm just going to show you real quick here. So I have made a simple little thing. So we're going to start with, if you want to follow along, it's not going to take that long. We're just going to play with it a little bit. It's just going to show you what we can actually do right now. If you make a project, just make a console application. You should end up with this. There might be some comments. You can delete them if you want. These two files, they should be in description. We'll also put them on the Discord later on. But for now, for you watching, sorry, it's not here. But you can look at that. So the header file for NGON random is very complicated, as you can see. So pragma once is just a way of saying to the Visual Studio, hey, only include this once. If you see this file again, don't do anything. That's the only thing that means. It's to avoid some problems, but anyway.
It's just a magical int that takes in start and end.
Yeah, it's a function called random number. It returns an int, takes a start and an end, and that's it. So when you include the header file here, so if I include the header file and go random, the only thing I'm actually including is I'm saying, hey, there's going to be a function. It's called random number. How it works, don't worry about that. Like we talked about in the project structure episode, that's going to come together later on when we compile. So how that is implemented is, this one also includes NGON random, just to tell it how the function looks like. I include random from the standard library. This thing here is a few things you haven't seen before. You haven't seen this. I'm not going to go into what that means basically, but it means that it's only going to be one of these per CPP file. So when this is compiled, there's only one of those, if you think of it that way. And you see that I'm creating the variable here, not in a function. It's basically global. But since this is within the CPP file, it's okay for now. It's a simpler way of doing this. This here, std random device, and std mt 19937, yeah. These are things to do random number generators.
Okay, why is such a complicated just string of?
Because random is complicated.
So they were just like, haha.
Well, this is to give you more control. There is another way that I can just say rand, like this, but this isn't. This gets complicated in a different way. So I'd have to do rand, and then I have to take a modulo of the number plus the lower bound, and yeah, it can get pretty complicated. And there are ways to get the wrong number, or if you don't seed the random number generator, you need to seed it correctly. That anytime you start the application, you always get the same random numbers.
Oh, it's random, but it's in an organized.
Very organized random. This one is, it's better. So random device is just a way of generating random numbers. This here is called a Mersenne twister, which is a algorithmically, mathematically thing to get random numbers, but it needs a generator. So you can see that I send the generator, or the random device, into the generator. So then the function, so this is a class, this is a class, and this is a class. These are all classes. Uniform int distribution, this is just a way of saying I want an integer from this number to this number. But then, so this is the distribution, and then I send the generator into the distribution. So I say I want a number from start to end.
And we'll have to define the start and end somewhere else.
Yeah, so that's kind of a quick way of explaining what's going on here. But the nice thing is, if you include NGON random, if you say int result is random number from 1 to 10, oops, and I put a breakpoint here, and I run this, I now have a number 6.
Ooh.
And if I run it again, I have 3.
Yay.
Or I have a 6 again.
Wow.
How random?
Well, I'm going to predict it.
Oh.
Wow. Okay,
6
okay.
again?
It's going to be an 8.
7?
Close.
That's the thing with random as well, is random is random. It doesn't mean all over the place, it means random. So we could get the number 6 8 times, and it still is random.
Yeah.
But because we don't know.
There's a chance. No, we're doing C++.
Yep. So this is just a nice then way for us to say, hey, I would like a random number. And we can put in 2 integers here. And it will include 1 and it will include 10. So that's it. Okay. So let me start, I think. And then you can move over to you, and then me and then you. So should we make a player?
Sure.
Okay. So what should a player include? So I'm making a class. So what should be in a player?
Health.
Health? How should we store health?
And before we've just kind of stored them as ints.
Mm-hmm. Has there been a problem with that?
I don't think so.
No?
No, I think that's kind of what we've done.
Kind of works.
Yeah.
So let's do that. Int, and let's call it health. Mm-hmm. You're going to type the same. if he's missing anything, I can send them over on the Discord information. Yeah. So we make a player. It has a health. Great. What else should a player have?
Probably some damage.
Damage. Okay. So we just have straight up damage numbers, or should we have like a low high kind of thing, like that is in many like RPGs? Because if we have just a straight up damage number, then that's just
that's just the same hit. Maybe we have a heavy attack and a light attack.
could be. We can play with that.
Okay, so maybe we do like a.
Usually in these games they have like a random range between between a thing and a thing.
Yeah. Okay, so we can do a random number then.
Yeah, so we could do
What you
that a player has like a damage min and a damage max, right? So it's some range there between. Cool.
And then we would define what that and how to send in those numbers in the constructor, right?
There we go.
Okay.
So yeah, next up we could do a constructor. So let's just. So the constructor has the same name as the class itself. So what we should take in the health that the player would have. So I'm going to call that a health. What else should we take in? Like you said, the
Damage.
damage. So 8 damage min, or let's do max first, and then 8 damage min. Then sorry, I forgot the int here. So my little, because then it matches. It's just me being weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter much, but it's just me being weird.
It's crying.
Okay, great.
What's it yelling at?
I haven't made it yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying there's going to be a function.
Okay.
Yeah. So here I have to say player, and I can just copy that line, take away that thing, and then I can set the values. I can say that health is equal to a health. The damage max is, that's the wrong one. Damage, there we go. 8 damage max, and damage min is 8 damage min. There we go. Set those two. Cool. So we try to make a player.
Sure.
So player Gabe.
Uh-oh. It's me.
Yeah. 100 health.
Oh, what do we do with?
5 and 10.
Ah. Okay. Yeah, true, because it takes in the 3, so we need to send in 3.
Send in 3.
So now now it's my max damage is
10. No.
5. It's backwards. Yeah.
See, we have.
Bam! Feedback.
So I think it does make sense that we swap it.
Yes, maybe.
You do it like that. Yeah, I think it does make sense.
Yeah.
That you said
you
the lower number,
start
the
on
higher
the lower
number.
end.
Yeah, 5. Yeah, there we go. See, these are the problems. These are the problems. Cool.
So for somehow I have more minimum damage than I have maximum damage. Just really confused.
Yeah, but you spotted it. You spotted that the value coming in goes into here. It's a problem, which means that you know how to read the flow of it.
I can read.
So what is it complaining about here? It's complaining about missing something, or is it just a fake problem? Okay, it's just
fake news.
Fake news. So let's test it out. I mean, do you have the same on your end?
No, I stopped typing because I realized we were going to share stuff on Discord.
Yeah, I can dump that there for you. That's the player and the constructor.
Yes.
And
then I'll just make me real quick.
Yeah. So let's swap over to you then.
Oh. Oh wait, no, but I need you. Just let me just copy this real quick. 100, 5, 10.
He's doing that because that's how he sees my screen.
Yes.
There's like a border here between. You can't see.
I can't see otherwise.
No. Okay. So you have make it maybe a little bigger, so you can see it. Cool. So, so let's print out that you're doing some damage, right?
Yeah.
So instead of printing out "Hello World,"
we print out.
You take out the whole thing. Just have standard C out.
Just like that.
And no strings and just alligator teeth. So we have this random number, and you have damage min and damage max. So if you would say random number
here
in the cout,
Ah.
Mhm.
Like that?
Have you included NGON random at the top?
Ah, no. I think I deleted that because I I copied it.
You should include IOStream and NGON random. Bingo. So random number, and we want then. So if you open the parentheses there, you can look at what it says. It says it takes a start and an end.
Which is 5 and 10.
Yeah, but what is the 5 and 10? So where are they stored?
They're stored in a damage min and a damage max.
Yeah, but in what class?
Damage min and damage max.
No, what class is it?
Player.
Yeah, and do we have a player?
Yes.
Okay, what's
Gabe.
it called? Gabe. Okay, then you say Gabe.
That's it.
Dot.
And then do we do a damage?
No A damage, because those are coming.
Just damage and.
You only have the variables that are in the list down there. You see the list you have? Yeah, that's the variables you have.
So, but we wanted to do minimum and maximum.
Yep. I think Control Shift or Tab also works to autocomplete.
Okay.
Okay, if you put a breakpoint at 28, and let's run this. So what did you get in the? So these are the same. The health is 100, damage is 5 and 10, but it's in the output. So it's the console screen that is now probably behind Visual Studio. There it is. You got a 5, right?
Wow, my damage was terrible.
You got a low roll.
That didn't count. I'm doing that again.
All right.
8. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I'll take an 8. I'll take an 8. It's a respectable number.
Yeah, it'll be a good hit.
Not no 5 here.
No 5?
No.
Okay. So here's the question: should we implement crit?
I mean, that sounds like fun. But that sounds like another random thing we need to implement because crit's chance based.
Crit is chance based. Let's say crit is 50% chance.
Okay. Wow, that's a good crit rate.
That's a good crit rate. A good crit rate. And then let's say that crit doubles your damage. But then it comes to the question: does it double? Like, do you do the roll and then double it, or do you double the min and the max and then send the doubled min and max into the random number generator?
I think you double the roll and then I think that's better.
See how the questions we have to go into here, even with simple things like let's do random, let's do crit chance. So let's do crit chance. So a nice thing to do is so let's do one thing first. So this thing here, random number, min and max. This is a nice function, right?
Yep.
This is a function where you can say that you do the damage. We want to get the damage roll that you have. So this thing here you have, random number, min and max. This is useful as a function, right? So let's create a function in the class. So if you scroll up, go to line 12. So it's below line 12. So this function would return an int because we would get a damage out of it, right? Because if you look at the random number function, that returns an int.
Yeah.
Damage is an int. So this function should then also return an int. I would guess.
So do we want to call it like random crit?
No, let's just do damage in general.
Okay.
So if you just call it damage, and I don't think it needs to take in anything, because we have all the numbers, right?
Yeah.
We have the min and the max. This is just a matter of when you do the swinging, this is the damage that's going to happen, right?
Sure.
I mean, for now, it makes sense design-wise.
Yeah.
You see that we're designing the class. We're designing what's going to happen here. It might happen later on that we find out that this doesn't make sense. Like with the min-max, the swapping. So let's make that function. So if we then define the function, it will be after the constructor. So what does it return?
An int. So we'll just start with int.
Yep. In what class is it?
Damage.
No,
it's player.
Yep.
So would it be player dot damage?
Player colon.
And then player.
No.
Or damage.
Damage. What does it take in?
Nothing.
Yep. And then the curly brace.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay. And to roll for the damage, what do we need to do? What is the function we call?
Isn't to roll for this a random?
Yep.
So we need to do
random
what is
number.
it? Random number.
Mm-hmm. And what does random number take in?
Both the min and max.
Mm-hmm.
But would it be the same, or would it just be
because you're in the class, you don't need to say Gabe because you're already within the class.
So it would just be A damage min and A damage max?
Not A, because that is only within, like, if we go back to that, what is the scope of A damage min and A damage max? From line 16 to 21. If we think of that function, the constructor, A damage min and A damage max, they only exist in that scope between 15 and 16 and 21.
So then it's these.
Yes.
Or well, these.
Yeah, those two. Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, you're not making them again. They already exist.
So it would just be damage min and damage max.
Yeah. They already exist within the class. Mm-hmm. And what you can do is you can just say return random number. No, before the line. Just straight up return random number damage min damage max.
In here?
Yes.
What?
No, before.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. That's what I was like, put it here. I've never seen us do that before.
I said before.
Okay, yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. I was thinking before the line that I went down to.
No.
Okay. So now it's returning. Now we've created another damage that's returning a random number of damage min and damage max.
Mm-hmm. So try using that function.
Done here.
Yeah. So instead of doing a std out random number, you can do a std out of what?
Damage min and damage max.
Mm-mm.
Wouldn't it?
You've now created a function.
Yeah.
Where's the function created? In what class is it?
Player.
Mm-hmm. Do we have a player in?
We do.
Yep.
But then what do we replace these with?
This whole thing goes away.
Really?
Yeah. Whole thing.
Oh my god! What?
Yeah. If you
because then I just put
Gabe, type in Gabe. Dot. What do you have there now?
Damage.
Which is
the thing we want.
Is it a function or a variable?
It's a function, isn't it?
Yeah. How do you call functions?
I don't know. I'm too dumb for this.
No.
I don't remember.
It's the parentheses.
Really?
Yeah.
But then it just wants to take in damage again.
No, it doesn't take in anything.
It's just empty?
Yeah.
I'm so lost.
No. Now look at this. You make a player called Gabe.
Yeah.
It has 5 and 10 as the damage. Those come in as A damage min and A damage max.
Yeah.
So in line 19 and 20, they are set. You then later call Gabe.damage, which is a function made in line 23.
Yeah.
That calls random number with min and max.
But then why don't we need to put the min and max in there like we did before?
We did that already in line 30.
Okay. So this is just basically just saying, okay, you have Gabe, which is 105 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then call
because Gabe is already storing the 5 and the 10.
Yeah.
So when you call damage on Gabe already knows that the min and the max is 5 and 10. Let's put breakpoints. Put a breakpoint on 18 and 21. 21. And put a breakpoint on 25. And put a breakpoint on 33. And run this. Cool. So now we're constructing Gabe. Right? So the damage min, A damage min and A damage max is 5 and 10, and A health is 100. But we haven't set anything yet. So if you look at this, if you open up this,
yeah, it's just random numbers.
It's all just junk. So if you hit a 5, now they're all set. But A damage max and A damage min and A health in a second are going to go out of scope because they are only alive within that scope. Right?
But what's the point of them even existing then?
That's how they came into the function. Someone had to send them in.
But then, so I don't understand why we need them at all if they're only alive in here.
Well, someone needs to if if I wrote a letter to you,
Yeah.
I need to give it to the mailman. He then sends it over and then gives you the letter.
Okay.
And then you're asking the question, what's the point of the delivery man?
Listen, okay.
Yeah.
Being...
'Cause if you scroll
But if
down,
it's an email, what's the point of delivery man?
what's the point of the email server then?
Yeah, shit. Okay, you got me there.
If you scroll down,
Yeah.
the 100 and 5 and 10,
Yeah.
those are being delivered into the constructor. Those turn into that.
Okay, and we're basically just saying that. Oh, okay. These values are these.
They're just temporary for delivering the values into the.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. So now we've constructed Gabe. If you hit F5,
They're gone.
so now Gabe is constructed, has a bunch of values. So now we're going to call Gabe.damage. And if you look at this, you can see that we still have all the values. Because when we constructed Gabe, we set the value. We say that Gabe has 100 health. Gabe's minimum damage is 5. Gabe's maximum damage is 100. There's 10. And Gabe always remembers that. And then when you call Gabe.damage, he already knows that, the numbers. So you don't need to send them in. So we just call random number with min and max. And then if you hit a 5, we'll get some value out in the print. 7?
Nah.
Not as good as a roll.
Nah.
So let's swap over to mine. If you copy over your stuff.
Yeah, just sent everything.
It's okay. I can copy that. I can replace. Yep, I have everything now. Groovy, just to make sure everything is running. Yep, I also got a 7. How lucky. It's lucky number 7. I got a 9.
Wow. It's the highest one yet.
So if we think we get a 10?
No.
Don't think we get a 10?
One more.
There we go. Best rolls. Best rolls in the game. Streamer advantage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's make crit. So the idea with crit was that it was 50-50. Either we crit or we didn't crit. So that also sounds like a function. Did we crit? Right? So we can actually do a bool, like call it
I don't know.
is critical hit. Okay? And since it's a function in the class, I can say bool player is critical hit. And I want to do, so I'm going to use random number. And look at this, even though it returns an int, so I'm going to call that crit result. I say random number, and I say it is from 1 to 10. And both of the numbers are included. So 1 is included and 10 is also included. And then I just say, is the crit result greater than or equal to 5?
So anything over 5
is a crit. So this is just going to roll a random number between 0 and 10. A crit result is 5. Now the question becomes, am I balanced right now? Is this going to give me a 50% crit chance?
I don't know. Shouldn't it?
Yeah. So we
It's
have
just random. It's just if it's random numbers,
and
you've asked it if it's equal to or greater than 5.
because those are the kind of questions. So we
Wait,
have
no.
1, 2, 3, and 4,
No, it's more. Yeah, it's more
Yeah.
balanced. Yeah, no, it's off balance.
Yeah, no.
You need to do 6.
or greater
Yeah.
than 5.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or that.
Exactly,
Yeah.
it's a 60% crit
Yeah,
chance.
I was like, wait a minute. Yeah.
because then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5,
Yeah.
which are not crit.
Yeah,
6,
hereabout.
7, 8, 9, and 10, which are crit. There you go. See how easy it was to.
Yeah.
You could have broken crit by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10% crit's quite a lot.
It is. It is. So I get a random number. It is just some number between 1 and 10. And then I ask the question, is that number greater than 5? If it is greater than 5, yeah, it is a crit. Cool. So then what we can do is we can say here, this is going to give us a random number for damage. All right. So instead of returning it directly, I can say, call it damage result. Just nice to name things. And then I can ask the question, if
Crit result.
Yep, no, I call the function.
Ah.
Because this is a function that I can use.
Oh, yeah.
I can say if it's a critical hit, I return damage result times 2. Otherwise, I return damage result. So, crit implemented.
Okay.
Should we try it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We can do a thing. So let's make a loop for int I int the plus I. Make a little loop. Do you listen to synth tracks while coding? I listen to drum and bass a lot. A lot of drum and bass. I do stud cout gabe.damage. You see, I just have to call damage. The crit is already implemented in the damage.
We're all about that good optimization of crit hit damage here.
Yeah, and you can see, as a user of player, I don't care. Someone else made this. They've tested it. They're happy. I'm just doing player stuff. So I'm gonna make a new line. I'm gonna do damage. I'm gonna run it here. You can probably see where the crits are.
Snap! You got 20.
You got a 20.
Big crit.
Big crit. Let me see if I can do properties. Font. Make it a little bigger, maybe. There we go. Got a nice little crit. And if you wanted to make sure that...
You got quite a few crits there, though, didn't you?
Yeah, a lot of crits.
But all of them were...
Hmm?
Yes, no, never mind. Anything over 10 is a crit.
Yeah, anything over 10 is crit, yeah. So what we could do is we could say here... So normally you don't do this. Yeah. So this function is... It's not strictly pure, but I call this kind of a pure function. You just call it, it does a thing, and then there's a result out. Due to the random and due to the damage min and max, it's not strictly pure, but you can see that I call damage, I get a number, nothing else happens. Player doesn't change, and there's nothing else that happens. So that's, sometimes those things are called pure. There's no side effects. If you do this, because you can do a cout, I can just say crit, just to see it. Now, because I'm printing onto the screen when I call the function, there's a side effect. Because I call the function and suddenly something else happens, right? I just call damage and then suddenly a file is deleted on my disk. You see what I mean? Like, so normally people don't do this, but this is just nice for us as an example. Then when I hit this, you see that
crit.
So, and another side effect that we can do. So this is just you don't have to do this. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to make a crit count, right? And I'm going to say I'm going to +1 on the crit count, right? So anytime I do damage and I get a crit count goes up to 1. All right? And I'm not going to print out the damage. You're going to see why in a little bit. I'm just going to say damage. I'm just going to do the damage. What's going to happen is every time I call damage, if it's a crit, there's a number within Gabe that is going to be increased. You can actually see that happening. If I save this and run.
Is my damage going to go up?
No. So here's a crit count.
Yeah.
It's 0 now. 1, 2, 3. Didn't crit there. 6, 7.
Crit quite a bit.
Wow. Yeah, well, I crit like almost every hit there. But the main thing is, I want to run this a couple of times.
Oh yeah, a few.
Yeah, so I'm running it 10,000 times.
Yeah.
So if it is actually 50%,
should end up with 5,000.
About 5,000.
Yeah, quick math.
Quick math. Let's run that. Here we have Gabe. 4,952.
That's a bit lower than average.
Yeah. And then if we run it again.
It's a bit higher than average.
Yeah. Good luck. I had good luck.
Seems like we might actually have a 50-50 crit chance here.
Yeah. Seems pretty good.
Yeah.
Seems pretty good. So should we then, if we seem to be trusting that number, we seem to be pretty happy with it. I'm going to remove the crit count here, because this was just for testing. Should we send in here the crit chance? Because we can keep adding. We can keep adding to this thing here.
Yeah.
So we could have a thing called, and then.
Yeah, because then we can. Yeah, because right now it's hard coded at 50%.
Yes.
So if we do that, then we can actually change that value.
Yeah. So you can have a player with a high crit chance, a player with a low crit chance. There you go. So now we've sent in. Someone is sending in crit chance. Here's the delivery guy sending in crit chance, saving it to this one. So these are the ones that matter, not these.
And then
now,
wouldn't we have to do it in the...
So here in the constructor.
Yeah.
So if I say 5.
Is that 5% chance or 50%?
Here we go. Here we go. Here's a question of what does the 5 mean?
Yeah. I don't know.
So
where have we defined that?
It would make sense that it would say that we would do this.
Yeah.
Right? But then we have to change to this guy.
Yeah, but we asked it for 1 to 10, so this is just saying...
Now we're asking a number from a 1 to 100.
Okay.
And we ask if it's bigger than 50. Right? But now we don't have to ask if it's bigger than 50. We ask...
Yeah.
Are you bigger than crit chance? Just like in damage, I could send in damage min, damage max, and play with that value. I can in crit chance, I can use that because I'm in the player class.
So now the crit chance isn't defined.
It is defined.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as in like we per character.
Yeah, it's
like
defined.
it's not just 50. It's not just 5. Now it could be anything.
It could be any number. So you can have a 50% crit chance, and
Or
I could have a 0% crit chance. So let's do that as a way of finishing this off. So if I make Oliver, we both have 100 health. We both do 5 to 10 damage, but I only have a 5% crit chance.
Oh god!
And you have a 50% crit
I
chance.
want to win this.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a little bit less health. I'm more glass cannon.
Maybe. So let's make us fight, right?
Yeah.
So
no, not for real.
No, not for real. So we would say while Gabe health is bigger than 0 and Oliver health is bigger than 0. We want to do the fighting. So let's just say that Gabe health is minus or equal to
Oliver damage.
Oliver. See? See?
Yeah, but that was easy.
You spotted that, right?
Yes.
Yes, you spotted that damage gives the damage number.
Yeah.
That you understood the interface right there. Right? In that moment, you understood the interface that we're making. Now this is a big point. This is a big point. So, and then Oliver health is minus equal to game damage. Right?
I feel like I had to have really bad luck not to win this.
So, let's make sure that these fights actually work. Let's do one fight there. One of us should be dead. So, oh, this is, yeah, one loop. I'm gonna...
Wait, I lost.
I
died.
You died.
How?
That's a good question. Yeah, we went down here. Okay. Let's do a thing.
I lost.
You lost. So we can do this. Int Gabe win. Int Oliver win. I mean, there might be a bug here. That's fine.
I'm gonna find a bug hunt.
Yeah. So if Gabe health is bigger than 0, then Gabe win plus plus. If Oliver health is bigger than 0, Oliver win plus plus. Oopsies. Alright. Should we let this run a few times?
Sure.
Probably a bug here. Probably a bug here. Yep, I win every fight. So why is that? Gabe's health is minus or equal to all of the damage. Did we do it the other way around? Yeah, I think that's the case. So this isn't 50% crit chance. Yeah. It's the other way around. This is 95% crit chance. There we go.
Wow, and it was just one reversed alligator face.
Yep. Yeah, because I need the crit result to be bigger than 5, which in most of the cases it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, true.
It was
Yeah.
the other way around. Yeah, we're also not resetting the player health. That is correct. So let's do a thing here that Gabe health is 100, and then Olafur health is 100. There we go. Maybe not as one-sided. There we go.
Oh, you won some.
Yep. So out of the 100,000 fights, you won 97,000 of them.
Yes.
And like Raisa talked about, not resetting the health. So what we can do here as well, which is often done in these kinds of situations, you have max health, and you say that max health is equal to a health when you construct it, and you never touch max health. You leave it alone, so you know what the max is when you originally constructed it, and when you get new items or new things, you would recalculate max health. If you know what that is, because then when you're done here fighting, you could say that Gabe health is Gabe.
Dot max health.
Yeah. See, you got
So
it.
then it always goes back to whatever the maximum health
Yeah.
should be.
So then we don't have to worry. I don't care now what I set here in the top, because I know that this setup, crude as it may be, always resets the health back to normal. Should we do it again? Try to get a nice winning streak. Yeah.
About the same.
Yeah. Would you say?
Can you put your crit chance at 0?
And see you win every time?
Well, no. See if there are some chance like
Fights that I win?
no, because we would tie. Even if we wouldn't. No.
In this case, ties wouldn't count.
No, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to see how many you win now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you still win a few.
A few,
Yeah.
but you're like 99.
Yeah, well, you know.
Yeah, and we can even see that with if you have 50 and I have 45.
Yeah. I'll be slightly higher,
Mm-hmm.
or I should be slightly higher.
Yeah, which you are. You're slightly higher than winning. And like you talked about before, you were talking about the glass cannon. That if I would have a 5% crit chance, but you would have, I don't know, 20 health.
Oh my god. I feel like you're going to win every time.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I just need 2 hits.
Yeah.
So let's say 40.
50,
Where's the
40.
balance? So let's find the balance point here.
This is game design now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good enough. I need more crit chance or something.
So
My crit chance needs to be stronger.
You think so? Oh, we're getting up there.
Yeah.
You want a higher crit chance?
Yeah.
70?
Yeah. Let's see.
Still pretty low. I still win most of them.
Damn.
Let's do let's give you more damage. Let's do 8 and 12.
123.
No.
Just one shot you.
Let's find the balance point.
Huh?
There. Oh no.
Oh, wow. Okay,
that is
that's-
imbalanced on your
No,
end.
yeah, no. I mean, we can keep it like that. I'm okay with it.
No.
Maybe reduce my health by a bit.
I'm gonna nerf your crit chance.
Oh, okay. That's unfortunate. I quite liked my crit
Here we
chance.
go.
Oh, there you go.
Here we go. Okay, you need a little bit lower crit chance. 55. A little bit lower. I'm gonna nerf my health a little bit.
Just slightly.
Slightly. Oh, you're still winning.
By a lot.
Yeah. What if I
Maybe reduce my minimum damage?
your minimum damage? So 6,
Yeah.
and I go back to 100 health.
Game design people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, then I kick your
wow.
ass.
Maybe I go up a little bit. 7 health? Or 7 minimum damage?
713. Oh, we're getting there. Maybe it is the minimum. If we do 715, because the crit helps a lot with the minimum damage. Yeah. So 14. Because if you get a high damage, wow, you're kicking my ass.
Maybe 6 minimum, 14 max.
Yeah. Because if you get a low roll, the crit helps a lot. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah,
Wait, how close is that? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
Maybe you get 55 health?
Yeah.
We're gonna find it. We're gonna find it.
That's too
wow.
much. Yeah.
Wow, that's insane.
That. See how skewed it gets?
Yeah.
Just by little
Just
adjustments.
5 health. 51 health? Oh man, now I'm going glass cannon.
Mm-hmm. Wow. You see how little like 50
See,
is
why you need good data to make sure you're making good changes.
Yeah. Like even the slightest things can mess up with the whole. And this is okay. There are situations you're better in.
Seems a little bit more volatile.
Uh-huh.
Like there's a bigger difference. Because there's more variables now.
But yeah, I'm going to send this over to you. We'll share what we have right now. Go to the Discord. We'll post it there. And we'll see if we have it in the description below. And
we should have our GitHub, right?
Yeah. The GitHub is still there. I just need to update it with this, what we had there. I'll keep the values we have now, which are the balance values. See if you can balance it perfectly. That would be cool to see. And from this, try to make like more character types. Like here we have just a regular old tank. He's not doing much. This is more of a glass cannon. You can find more. Like, can you find more character types? Can you do like a rock, paper, scissors? This one always wins this one, but like the triangle of balance kind of thing. That'd be interesting. But just playing with the numbers. And an interesting question also is, can you do dodge? Or evade? Or block, basically?
Yeah, wouldn't that just be...
It's similar to this.
It would just be the same thing, just we would call it something different and then assign different values to it.
And then you would just say, like, I'm gonna do damage, right? You would have to ask, like, hey, I'm gonna do damage, but it would be a question here.
Yeah.
Like,
if did block.
Yeah. if you did block, or like maybe didn't block, you do the damage. Or didn't evade or whatever. Yeah. So play around with that. Have fun with it. And
what are we doing next week?
I think so. What I want to add on to this is I want to give it some visual flair. So maybe we can see them fighting. The health bars go down. Have some little graphics onto it. It's not going to be very, very flashy or special, but at least it's something you can play around with and get some immediate feedback and responses to it.
Cool.
Well,
yeah. Thanks for hanging out. All this will be down in the description. If you have questions, we have our Discord, we have a channel, we have a programming channel, and a code school channel. Yep. But yeah, see you next week, same time.
Bye.